thank you very much for that. Kurmeti kanımdar min marsalar, Your Excellency, Mr. Ashimbayev. Personally, I know that you embody SDG 3, good health and well-being, so thank you for that as well. Dear students, distinguished participants, it is a great honor and pleasure for me to be here today at the final session of the third cohort of the prestigious Taldau School. It is initiated by the Senate, and what I hear and understand is that it is using modern, forward-leaning, innovative approach to bringing forward knowledge and insights on the Sustainable Development Goals. I see that as a reflection of the modern Kazakhstan. Standing here in front of you on the 2nd of March, it's a special day. Today is the 32nd anniversary of Kazakhstan joining the United Nations. But 32 years ago, the world looked very different. We were full of hope, and I hope that we still are, but we are seeing challenges that are growing. Tension and divisions around the world are at levels that we haven't seen since the Cold War. And we see growing geopolitical divide that is limiting our collective ability to address these challenges. Inequalities at national levels are rising and triggering social tensions. There is a lack of unity in societies, a lack of solidarity in countries. Allow me therefore to also congratulate all of you, one day late, on the Thanksgiving Day in Kazakhstan, a day that really shows that Kazakhstan is standing against all these negative forces of division and focusing on unity, prosperity, and well-being for all its citizens. Globally, our war on nature is continuing, and nature is fighting back. Technologies are progressing and bringing enormous benefits, and I know that you've had speeches on AI, you've delved into new technologies during this course, but there are also risks. We see how we can use the technologies for accelerating green transition, and this must happen. Kazakhstan has signed its own carbon neutrality strategy until 2060, but it will require an investment of $610 billion. Today, the renewable energy levels in Kazakhstan has only reached 4.5%, although you do have very strong national determined NDCs, national determined contributions. Globally, the numbers for renewable energies are much higher than what they are in Kazakhstan. Then again, you have assets. You have critical raw materials that few countries have. They need to be used for the well-being of every single man, woman, boy, and girl in Kazakhstan in a way that is sustainable and bridges the disparities between urban and rural areas. That is why, if I may echo, the great idea of bringing in regional representatives also to this school. Kazakhstan is the most urbanized country in Central Asia. It creates challenges and opportunities. I think what we see is that we need to understand these new complexities as they are challenging us as the world, because they are challenging us as the nations, and they are challenging us as societies. That is why your dedication to be part of the Taldau School is a dedication to your community, to your country, and to the global world. Your engagement and the initiative by the Senate to have a school like this makes me positive. And we need that positivity. Because when we adopted the Sustainable Development Goals in 2015, we knew that we were ambitious. And I say we, and I mean every single country of the world. We were ambitious. However, when we look at where we are today, we need to recognize that only 12% of the SDG targets are on track. And we have 50% that have weak or insufficient progress. And worst of all, we have as more than 30% of indicators actually going backwards. Globally, we see a reversal on 30% of the indicators, and globally, a reversal when it comes to gender equality and women's rights. Allow me, therefore, to take this opportunity to also chapeau the work that is being done in Kazakhstan for example, the criminalization of domestic violence, where the Senate, of course, has a very, very crucial role to play. This is progress. As the world leaders are now trying to make sure that we lean forward with new energy, they recommitted last year in September at the SDG Summit to say that we need to focus on 6 key areas to really bring change as we move towards the 2030 agenda. These 6 transitions are energy, education, social protection, food systems, climate change, and digitalization. All very relevant key areas for Kazakhstan as well, but in different ways. And this is the things with SDGs, and this is what I know you have been dialoguing. You can make progress on one that can actually negatively impact another. So you need to look at all the SDGs holistically all the time and make sure that you know how you move on one and at what impact it will have on another. That is why the work you've been doing with the Taldau school will really allow Kazakhstan to progress. And I have to say, I have the honor of having a graduate in my office from the Taldau school, and I can really see the impact and difference that this initiative makes, so thank you so much. Now, Kazakhstan, as we are standing here today, has been a force for multilateralism for 32 years as a member of the United Nations. And Kazakhstan is dedicated to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals for its own citizens and beyond. This is leadership. And I'd like to just take note of the fact that the SDGs that you have been focusing on are the ones that were identified in the latest voluntary national review by Kazakhstan that was submitted to the high-level political forum in New York. You know the VNRs, of course, the voluntary national reviews that every country does. You are focusing on those SDGs that the people of Kazakhstan identified as the most urgent. That, for me, is a sign that you are listening to Kazakhstan. You are listening to the people, you are taking that and you're bringing it into you through the initiative of the Senate. This, again, for me, is the modern Kazakhstan. Congratulations. Finally, here in Kazakhstan, the UN is present with 27 UN entities. And in your work, I'm sure you come across many of them, and you will know them: UNICEF, WHO, UNDP, you will know them. But there might be others that you don't know. UNIC, ITU, UNIDO, it depends on what background you have. But we are all guided by the same principles of rule of law and human rights. And we all strive to the same goals, the Sustainable Development Goals. We do this in a strong partnership with Kazakhstan, with the government, with business sector, and with civil society. And let me just say here that the business sector in Kazakhstan, its engagement in Sustainable Development Goals is the fastest growing such engagement globally. Again, a sign of where we see Kazakhstan today. So, as you are presenting your ideas today, I will listen carefully. I am keen to pick them up, just as I'm sure the government is, because you are the ideas that we need. The youth today makes up about 50% of the population of Kazakhstan, but you are all of its future. Finally, let me again congratulate you on the 32nd anniversary of Kazakhstan's membership into the United Nations, and I look forward to learning from your presentations. Thank you so much.